Hi everyone, it's Julianne here for Scrappy Tail Crafts, and welcome back to my channel. I know I have been making a lot of butterfly cards lately. I promised to move on. I am just so in love with these butterfly dies. I wanted to create an additional card using them and try something a little bit different for me, which I attempted to create a clean and simple card. I think I did a good job, but I had to add in some kind of color. Now I came in and used a strip die that I had in my craft room, and I ran that die through my die cutting machine quite a few times, using a variety of different colored cardstocks in order to create a rainbow of colors. Now I use this strip die because if you've been here before, you know I cannot cut a straight line for anything. My YouTube name should honestly be slightly crooked. I know that it is probably a user error, but me and my trimmer, everything I trim is slightly crooked. So I did use this die to just help me out with that. Now, if you don't have this die and you can operate your paper trimmer just a little bit better than I can, you can do the same thing by just trimming a bunch of strips of your colored cardstock. Now that I have all of those strips, I have a white piece of cardstock down on my work surface, and I've trimmed that down to 3.5 by 6.5, and that's for a mini slimline size. And I'm just adhering each one of those strips in rainbow order down to that panel using some liquid adhesive. I'm going to continue to adhere each one of those strips until I have that entire panel covered in a rainbow of goodness. Now, since the stripes of cardstock were just slightly larger than my panel, I'm just going to place that inside of my trimmer, and I'm just going to trim off that little bit of cardstock that's hanging off the edge there. I'm then going to take another white panel of cardstock that is the same size as my rainbow panel, and I'm going to place that on top of it. I'm then going to take two of the outline dies from the butterfly die sets, and I'm going to decide on where I want both of those butterflies to be. And then I'm going to take those and run them through my die cutting machine along with the panel. That's going to create two windows where you can see all of those stripes of cardstock behind it once you place those together. Now off camera, I also ran the intricate dies that match the outline dies for those butterflies, and I ran those through my die cutting machine using some white glitter cardstock. Now before adhering anything together, I pulled out my mini MISTI, and I'm going to start stamping out my sentiment onto that white panel. I'm going to be placing my panel inside of my MISTI, and I'm going to line up both sentiments down towards the bottom. And then I'm going to be stamping both of those using some VersaFine Onyx Black ink. Now the sentiments I'm stamping are from another butterfly stamp set that I have, and they are going to read "Flying by to say hello." I thought it was the perfect sentiment for my card today. So once I have both of those stamped out, I then went ahead and added some foam adhesive behind my entire panel. I'm going to be removing the backer sheets on each one of those foam pieces. And then to give myself some time in order to adhere it, I'd like to add in some liquid adhesive on top of that foam adhesive. This allows you, if you're like me, and you don't always line things up straight the first time when it comes to foam adhesive, it gives you a moment to shift your panel before it actually adheres. So once my panel is adhered down, that's going to give me some really nice dimension between both of those panels that you can see. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to add in the two intricate butterfly die cut pieces from earlier from that white glitter cardstock. And I'm going to be adhering those down using some more of that liquid adhesive. Now I'm just going to add some adhesive to the center of the butterfly bodies, leaving their wings alone. And then I'm going to be placing each one of those butterflies in the corresponding window. And to push those down in there, I'm just going to be using my craft pick. Once I have both of those butterflies all adhered, I'm then going to come back in and add some more adhesive to the back of my panel, and I'm going to be adhering that down to my mini slimline card base, which I have trimmed and scored out of some black cardstock. Once that's all adhered, I'm going to be finishing off my card today by just adding a few clear confetti mix sequins. Once I have each one of those adhered, that's going to complete my rainbow butterfly card using colored cardstock. I will have a list of supplies that I used today in this video, all listed and linked down below in the description box if you are interested. If you liked this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. As always, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I will see you next time, and happy crafting!